What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Just got over here to Brian's shop, B&K Performance. Randy just got over here. He's been out of commission for a little while. We're going to try not to overwork it today. But the reason we got his here, one of the passes at Darlington, last one of the passes we were there. Actually, we run 2 or 3 passes after that. But we nipped a spark plug up here on this very front corner. Kind of didn't make any sense. All the other plugs looked halfway decent. They didn't look terrible. I mean, there was a little bit of heat on them, but you know, you have to put heat on them to make the cards go fast. But that one rolled the strap back a little bit. So we pumped the motor, looked down in there. Everything seemed to be fine. We made a couple more passes, put another plug in it. The car run exceptionally well. Got a career best after we hurt that plug. And you know, it's just one of those things. We figured everything was good. Went over to Randy's shop at his house, and we switched this thing over to gasoline. And then when we got to switch to gasoline, we cranked it up and it had a little funny noise. And so, now granted, it was cold. I mean, it's all aluminum stuff. So, you know, there's a chance nothing's wrong, but we're going to snatch the motor out real fast, take the heads off of it, probably pull the oil pan off of it, look under bottom end. You know, there's a chance when it nipped that plug, even though we had good cranking compression and everything seemed to be fine, there's a chance that it lifted a ring land. And so the piston could be, you know, tapping the head. So it's better to look now while we still got a few weeks before racing seasons. He's got extra pistons if we need a piston. You know, he's got extra rods if we need a rod. I don't think we're going to need any of that stuff. You never can tell. That's why we're going to take it apart and look at it. You know, he's got very high-end stuff. We don't want to push his to the very last moment like I did mine. So this is gasoline. So we're going to get this stuff out of here before we take it in the shop. Just got to drain the cell. We're making progress on this thing. This thing is just aggravating to work on. Every race car is. This one's a little simpler. Milton's over here trying to get the header bolts loose. These Yates heads. The problem with these, the whole top row is super, super, super easy to get to. But those bottom ones are a bear. They're kind of hard to get to. So we're going to go ahead. Turbo's gone, of course. We'll get the turbo kit off of it. The oil pump, I think we ended up leaving the oil pump on here. No, we ended up having to take it off. But we'll get the turbo kit off. Get the dry sump tank off, and then we'll probably have to take the fuel cell out of it too. We emptied that outside like y'all saw earlier, and then we'll get this thing hopefully out. We might just take that head off in the car. Fancy new rock arms he's got. These Jezzels, these things are bad to the bone. All the valve train and stuff, it seems to be fine. I mean, we're not going to take the cam or any of that stuff out. We'll be able to drop the pan and, you know, inspect the rod bearings and stuff, pull the caps off of it and see what I got. Okay, let's keep going. Go get that tire. Go get that tire. Go get the tire. So Brian's dog is scared of big tires. She is protesting that big tires do not belong in this shop. This is a small tire shop. Not a big tire shop. She's not happy. Okay, don't terrorize the dog. We're going to make her run away. Go put the tire back up. We're going to take the big tires with us tonight, girl. You won't have to worry about it. Big tires are gone. No more big tires. Okay, Milton got the header off of it. Crossover pipe's gone. And so now we're about to roll the motor over. We just turn the power on and we'll just bump the motor over with the engine starter button up here. And basically these are a little bit different than mine. These are individually, but it's got that shaft. So these have a ton of spring pressure. So you've got to take these off when they're up top. You know, the spring just has to be all the way up. The valve has got to be closed in order to release these. So Randy's cleaning us up a container now. Luckily, they're not shimmed, so these are going to be super easy to get back on and get back together. The problem with his old ones is they had shims on some of the rocker arms. The intake was different from the exhaust. Something else, my gasoline tune. Boy, that is one of the best tunes I have ever seen. That's what the plugs turned out like when we cranked it up on gasoline the other week. I mean, boy.
That is not an alcohol plug.
That is not an alcohol plug. You are right. We pulled them out. Milton was like, that's not what those plugs look like last time I pulled them out. But yeah, so that's funny. That's just me failing to get the proper ratio of air fuel ratio in the conversion. I did it wrong, but we got it to crank up anyway. So let's pull these off real fast and see. We'll get these off and then we'll snatch this head off. You know, just look at it. I mean, we got a few weeks. It's a little more time and effort now, but it could potentially save us in the future. So I think it might not be a bad idea. Okay, guys, so the head is off of it. We don't see any obvious damage up here, so this is fine. You know, best we can tell, this looks good. This is from where we dropped the valve initially earlier in the year, so that's fine. Head gasket's a little dark there, but I mean nothing major. I mean it doesn't look terrible at all. So I mean these are the top fuel hoops, and you can see you have to kind of peel the gasket out of the head because it really. I mean, the top fuel hoops are big. They extend a lot, and they're big. I mean, so I was expecting to see the top of the ring land exposed here, but since that's not the case, I think we're gonna go ahead and pull the motor out and just turn it over. I mean, this motor's got such good parts in it. You know, I mean, it was a noise. Randy said he didn't really hear the noise. Maybe I'm hearing things, you know, but I heard something that was out of the ordinary. And so that's why we're going to pull it apart. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the gasket. You can see how this thing just distorts it. It pushes the gasket way down in there. And all this oil, these pistons were black. That was from my tune-up, or I should say my lack of tune-up when we put it together. Okay, well, let's just keep on trucking. We're going to pull this thing out in a second. We'll probably snatch that other head off real fast. We got this thing turned upside down, and we don't see any major problems. We'll just turn it over a few times. 5 here that we damaged. Nipped the plug. So we're gonna take this one apart real fast and see what we see.
We're gonna need another box. What? Box.
Ooh, that looks perfect. Hold that, please. That looks good. Okay, you ready?
Yes. I wouldn't take it all the way out. Are you gonna check that ring land?
Yeah,
Okay.
that bearing fell out.
Oh, that ain't good.
They squashed it.
Oh, we got a squash bearing. There's your noise.
Yep.
You can check that piston real good.
It's got a little bit of scuff in it. Piston is fine up here.
See if that bearing is fitting in that. See if it squashed it real bad.
No, it fits, but it's not. It didn't snap down in there. And you can see how it's got the shiny edge right there.
Yeah, it just hit it. Just smacked it a little bit.
Hold it.
This looks fine.
Yeah, the upper one. The upper one is the one that's the problem.
Yeah.
You heard this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just smack that one piston and, you know, flatten out the bearing a little bit. Right. It's fine. See, I would rather catch it now.
It is not terrible. This one does not look quite like mine.
Oh no, yours is just gone.
Yeah, but it is definitely, it is ovaled and stuck out on the side. Okay, so we're just gonna pull this one out. We're not gonna pull them all out tonight.
Yeah, I wouldn't pull anything outside. Just get some bearings for it.
Let's have bearings.
Pull them bearings out, put them in a rag, see if they can let them get partnered off of it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and definitely change all of them. Because if it hammered one, there's a chance that it was starting to hammer the other one. Piston's got a little scuffing on it. That's not
So it
terrible.
look like I have just a little bit of side load, but that comes from it being 427 on a long
I
rod.
was gonna say it's got so much.
That's normal. Rod ratios kind of rough on the
Okay. So this is good. Well, it's bad, but it's good.
No, that's a great find. I would hate to take it all apart and not find nothing.
If you look at it close, over here on this side, you can see how it's polished where the coating is gone. And then feeling it, it's very difficult to see it, but feeling it, you can feel it kind of bows out a little bit. The bearing is just
You got a little bow to it?
a little bit wider, yep. Just where it started pushing out on it a little bit. All right, guys, well, that's going to wrap it up tonight. So that's all we're going to do is take that one cap off. It took us a little longer than what I anticipated to get it off. I was kind of distracted working on my car a little bit too, though. Milton was over there doing most of the work. Nice stuff. I pointed out a couple times that Roller Torrington thrust bearing. That's what that is on the crankshaft.
Remember I used to have that in the mod motor?
Yeah, it's bad to the bone. And basically what it does is it just pushes on the block in the front cap so you don't kill the thrust. I mean, but this is really nice stuff. We're going to order a set of bearings for it. We're going to take them all apart. We'll take every single one of them apart. And what happens is this is the cylinder that we ended up nipping that spark plug for some reason. And so that's what, we wanted to take it apart, just make sure. And the upper bearing in the top of the rod there, that's the one that you can see it was starting to squash out a little bit. So I think we're good to go, though. So, we'll see. We got still, when you ready to drive, Randy? It's going to be, what,
Tomorrow.
another couple months?
Tomorrow.
4 weeks? At least a month.
At least March.
So the way you're going to have to test them to see if he can actually drive
Watching too much TV.
is you got to get him in the car, blindfold him, and then shake the car real bad, and we're going to pretend he's in a crash. He's got to throw the parachute, pull the fire system, and get out blindfolded. We don't want it to happen, but we want it to, he's got to be able to get out. So that's the goal.
Brakes are a bad word.
Yeah, wrecks are bad. Comment, like, and subscribe. See you soon. Later.